In 2019, on a very interesting dating show in China, a bespectacled, refined-looking male contestant appeared on stage. He looked gentle and cultured, and no one knew that behind the scenes he was worth 700 million yuan. As soon as he came on stage, he chose to hide his true identity and introduced himself sincerely. "Hello everyone, hello to the ladies on stage. I come from a small village in Guangxi. I'm 31 years old this year. Today, I've gathered the courage to come here because I want to find a beautiful, virtuous, and ambitious girlfriend. Currently, I work in a small fishing village in Beihai, making a living by going out to sea and fishing. I'm just an ordinary fisherman." No sooner had he finished his humble introduction than 16 female contestants immediately turned off their lights without hesitation. The host, seeing the ladies' reaction, quickly asked, "Why did you turn off your lights so fast? Can you share your reason with us?" Contestant number 4 spoke bluntly, sounding displeased. "To make me live in some fishing village environment, I couldn't stand it. Let's be honest, he goes fishing every day, barely makes money, and probably reeks of fish when he comes home. That's just unacceptable. And rural life is too poor, there's nothing there. You can't even go out shopping if you want to." The man didn't get angry at her words. Instead, he smiled and replied, "It's fine if you don't like my living conditions. To be honest, I'm not that interested in you either. Other than your looks, you really don't have much to offer. I came here to find a wife, not a vase, so you're not the one I'm looking for." Contestant number 4 pouted in anger. The host quickly stepped in to ease the tension. "Well, everyone has their own preferences." Contestant number 17 then said, "I think a man in his 30s is in his prime. There's a saying that men bloom at 31. Have you ever thought about buying a house in the city?" The man responded, "Whether in the city or countryside, it's all the same. As long as a man works hard, he can achieve something anywhere. It doesn't matter where you develop." At this point, contestant number 9 cut in. "Are you sure you didn't lie about your age? Are you really only 31? You don't look it, you must have aged too quickly." The man replied, "Maybe the sun and wind have made me look older, but my biggest strength is being genuine. Of course, compared to city men who live in air conditioning every day, I look older, that's normal. But I don't think they're better than me." He continued, "Our house is the biggest in our village. Just last year, we built a 3.5-story villa. It's more than enough for me and my parents to live in, so don't worry, you won't be mistreated. The thing is, I only know how to sail and fish. In a concrete city, I wouldn't even know what to do. Plus, my mother isn't in the best health, and I need to care for her while also working. It's overwhelming. So I want to find a beautiful and virtuous girlfriend to share life with." Contestant no. 14 interrupted, "So basically, you're here to find someone willing to take care of your mother, right?" The man replied, "You could put it that way. Also, I don't want my partner to have unrealistic expectations. I was born in the countryside and my thinking is traditional. I believe after marriage, a woman should stay home as a housewife. That way, when we have children, they can get better care and upbringing. I hope my future wife has a higher level of education." The female contestants and audience burst out laughing. Contestant number 4 quickly asked, "What's your education level? You're demanding high education from your partner, but what about yourself?" The man smiled, "I stopped studying after high school. My family was poor and I wasn't good at studying. My parents wanted me to farm, but I didn't like it, so I went fishing instead. Working at sea is pretty good. You see the waves, the beauty of the country, and you can support your family. It's the best of both worlds." Contestant no. 9 mocked him. "You didn't even finish junior high, yet you're asking for a well-educated woman? Let's forget about ideals for a moment. You haven't developed a career in the city, you don't plan to buy a house there, so why do you think any woman would give up city life to live with you in the countryside? What security do you offer?" The man confidently replied, "Actually, I do other kinds of work besides fishing." One of the contestants from the service industry chimed in, "Didn't expect you to have some business sense. So what are your hobbies? Since our education levels are different, common interests are important." The man thought for a moment, "You're right, I like listening to music." Contestant number 9 pressed further. "You said your mother isn't in good health and needs care. So what gave you the courage to come on this dating show looking for a girlfriend? You're in your 30s with no house, no car, and no stable job. We're not charity workers. We're looking for a safe harbor for ourselves. Our parents worked hard to raise us, not so we could end up as someone's maid. The man immediately responded, I do have a plan. I want to save up and buy my own boat soon. Then I'll earn a lot more. And if you're not willing to work hard together with your partner, then are you just here to find a rich man? If so, why are you even on this dating show? His words left contestant number 4 speechless. She turned off her light in anger. At this point, only one light remained on. Before the host could ask, the contestant said, Hello, I really like your passion for life. I also come from the countryside and still feel attached to it. I think you're a really good person. I believe being with you would make me happy. I know how to do housework too. Though my education level isn't that high, I only have a university degree. I wonder if you'd mind. The man gently replied, It's okay, education isn't that important. What matters is that we're on the same wavelength. You seem like a good person and I feel we'd have a lot to talk about. As soon as he finished, he smiled, held her hand, and prepared to leave the stage with her. Just as they were about to walk off, the host jokingly revealed, Ladies, maybe you really thought he was just an ordinary fisherman, but actually he's far from it. Not only does he not rely on fishing for a living, he's also the owner of several seafood companies. A 22-year-old young beauty went on her first blind date, but the moment she opened her mouth, she scared the poor guy half to death. The house has to be at least 180 square meters and the car, at the very least, a BMW 5 Series. As for the bride price, 500,000 yuan is a must. The young man shivered after hearing this. He never imagined a girl could be so direct these days, who gave her such confidence to open her mouth like a lion. And she hadn't even held her blind date's hand yet, but was already throwing out demands worth millions. Did she really think he was some gullible fool? This overly confident girl's name is Zhang Zuru. She's tall, attractive, and could fairly be described as a stunning beauty. Despite only earning 5,000 yuan a month, she firmly believed what her mother always told her, that one day she would definitely find her own tall, rich, and handsome man. In Zuru's heart, any man who wanted to date her must first have a house and a car. As for why the house had to be 180 square meters, she gave what she thought was a very reasonable explanation. We'll need a bedroom, then one for the children, then when your parents come they'll need a room, plus a guest room. That's the bare minimum, right? She also thought this requirement wasn't too difficult, since they lived in a small city where housing prices were nothing compared to Beijing, Shanghai, or Guangzhou. Any capable man should be able to handle it easily. The young man, however, was left dumbfounded, even doubting himself. Maybe he really wasn't capable enough. Then it was the car's turn. And about the car, if it's just something to get around, then I don't think it's meaningful. At least a BMW 5 Series makes sense. The guy's expression went from confused to completely stunned. It sounded like a reason, but also not really a reason, leaving him speechless. Still, he quickly calmed down and admitted he was just a grassroots actor. Although he earned a decent income, it was far from enough to meet Zuru's demands. She asked, So how much do you make? Over 10,000. When Zuru heard that, she looked down on him even more. Someone earning just over 10,000 a month daring to go on blind dates? What a joke. To her, her standards weren't high at all. With her excellent looks and genes, this was just the basic requirement. But that wasn't the end. What she said next pushed the young man into despair. My mom spent so much raising me, cultivating my talents and skills. If I get married, a bride price of 500,000 yuan is non-negotiable. It turned out Zuru really was a good girl who listened to her mother in everything. The poor young man nearly collapsed, saying he had never even considered the bride price issue. He believed marriage and love should not be measured by money. Feelings were what mattered most. Though he had worked hard for years, 500,000 yuan was far beyond his ability. But Zuru wouldn't let go. You can't say you didn't prepare for a bride price. You can't just take a girl for free. Good grief, what a clever tactic, playing the victim while actually being the gold digger. Luckily, the guy reacted quickly, saying he wasn't stingy and would definitely give a bride price, but it shouldn't be fixed at a high price like a business transaction. Everything should be within one's means, and he would never skimp on what was reasonable. Of course, this didn't satisfy Zuru, but she also didn't want to be labeled a materialistic woman, so she changed the subject. She admitted she had a bad temper. She often broke things or blocked people online. If they dated, she hoped he could tolerate her mood swings. The guy was honest. Once or twice is fine, but if you throw tantrums all the time for no reason, it's hard to put up with. Zuru wasn't happy with that. She argued, for example, if I told you to remember something tomorrow and you forgot, then I get angry. You might think I'm being unreasonable, but actually it's because you didn't remember what I said. So my anger isn't for no reason. At that point, the guy was completely speechless. They clearly couldn't agree on anything, and it didn't seem necessary to continue. Too materialistic. I feel like marrying her would cost at least 5 million. Not suitable at all, her temper is bad and I don't have the patience. On top of that, I can't meet her material demands. In the end, their blind date ended in a successful failure. In truth, material things and